Hello, hello. What's going on, everyone? Hope you're staying safe, healthy, productive. Oh, shit. Let me turn this off. All right. I just posted a video of my dad doing push up claps, and it's hilarious. So, getting some interesting responses. And I'm drinking my espresso in this tiny ass panda cup. Don't judge me, all right? I love pandas. They're fluffy, they're cute. It is what it is. I think they're my soul animal, too. Anyways, I digress. All right. I wanted to do this video to talk about three key themes I'm seeing from entrepreneurs, CEOs, founders that I either interview on my podcast, talk to for work, whatever the case is. I've talked to a lot of CEOs so far in my career, in my life, and I feel like I've seen three key themes that I think might help aspiring founders, especially if you're listening to this video. So here we go. First one, you're gonna think this is textbook, cheesy. I don't care. It's important. The first one is every founder has had deep passion, interest, or some sort of lingering love for what they're doing, right? Whether it's the concept, the idea, or the business that they're building, there has to be that underlying passion for what the purpose is behind the business. Now, I understand that you hear this, so I mean it's a word that's thrown a lot out there in terms of kind of the passion side, but I think if you dissect like the why, right? If you dissect the reason why passion is so important, especially for entrepreneurs, Reid Hoffman always talks about the valley of the shadow, and he basically talks about this period in any startup's life cycle where it's very, very dark. You're going to enter this tunnel, and sometimes you don't see the light at the end of it, right? You're going to go through many hurdles. A lot of it is ambiguous. You're learning on the fly. He even has this other quote where an entrepreneur is like jumping off a cliff and building a parachute on the way down, and it's very true. And so if you don't have this passion or interest or love for what you're doing, it's very, very simple to let go, give up. Screw it. I don't want to do this. I'm going to sit on the couch and watch Netflix. Why? Like, it's not even worth the hassle anymore. And trust me, I've experienced this. When we were building Bookback, I remember we had a call on Friday night. Literally, I was walking around on the roof of my building. This was summertime. Talking to the co-founders and saying, listen, I don't even know, like, we're not getting much traction. It's, I think we either have to pivot or let this go. What do you think? And we kept kind of persisting forward, even though, there were many obstacles. And I really felt it at that point in time. I really felt like it was a very legitimate decision, right? It's two paths. And that's difficult, right? Because as an entrepreneur, it's like, how long do you hold on to your passion before you're just being absurd, right? So it's difficult because as an entrepreneur, you're typically a dreamer, an optimist, but tackling that realism is often difficult, and I'll get to that because that's another point. But so I think that's the first one. The second one is basically every founder that I've talked to has been very resilient in seeing their dreams through, and so this kind of tackles the first one. But what I mean here further is you're going to have a lot of people along the way who don't agree, don't see the vision. They just don't understand what you're trying to build. And I think from what I can gather from these entrepreneurs who are successful is they didn't spend time convincing people, seeing what they were seeing from their vantage point. Okay, so they were still open to constructive criticism or feedback or whatever, but they had so much internal confidence that they persisted through with their vision, and over time, as they built small successes, small wins, people started catching on. And I think but that period where you're listening to your internal voice can be very difficult. I'll give you an example. I had a founder who's a CEO of a tech company in Toronto, and he was telling me that he was doing very well on the corporate side before moving to entrepreneurship at like in his mid 30s. He had a family, 2 kids, etc. And he was making a great salary, the pension, the safety net, whatever you want to call it. He had that, and he was giving that up to build his business. And I think it was eye-opening because when he was trying to make those decisions, his wife basically was like, listen, I just think this is crazy. This is crazy to do right now. I don't think this is a good idea. It's almost like a stupid decision, and reasonably so. I think a lot of people in her position would have probably done that, and she did support him obviously throughout this venture. But it wasn't until later that he started really seeing those successes that he believed early on. But it's easier said than done. It's easy to join a startup when they've raised 10 million, they're doing 5 million revenue, let's say, or they have 50 employees, they have a massive client. It's easy to see that vision at that point in time. It's much, much more difficult to see that at concept stage or day 1 or day 10. Very, very difficult, and very few are prepared or have the stomach for that. And that's why legitimate entrepreneurs from a successful point of view don't exist in large quantities. It really takes a lot of energy, effort, and a bunch of other qualities to do that. I would say the final one is I think from the successful ones, and this was what I meant from when I was talking about the first point that I'll get to it, is that realism aspect. Because when you have that road where do I persist with my passion or do I kind of pull the plug, that having that realism is so important. I come across so many entrepreneurs who are kind of blinded, right? Oh, this idea doesn't exist, or we're $1 billion company, with no justification, right? They haven't done the consensus, they haven't done the research, they haven't talked to customers, they might not even have a customer, but this is worth X amount. Well, how? You don't even have a paying customer yet. I don't care if it's an app, I don't care if it's a tech platform that's difficult to monetize. Like, show me the success. And I think that's, from what I gather from these entrepreneurs, is they're real about the market. They really have a very, very specific view of where it fits. They have a clear vision of where this can grow in the next 2 years. They have a path to monetization or growing revenues. It's very clear. And if you don't spend time doing that, just watch Shark Tank. I think Kevin O'Leary talks about this all the time, where he's like, if you don't know your financials as a CEO, then how the hell are you coming here and asking for money? Like, it just doesn't make any sense, And it's beyond financials, obviously, but like, just understanding the deep metrics, being real. Like, stop BSing. Look in the mirror and really ask yourself, is this the right opportunity? Number one. So is this the right opportunity? I just thought of something else. 2, are you the right person for the job? I'll give you another, real example. When I was on the investment banking side, doing sort of mergers and acquisitions, the firm I worked for helped a company exit. I, basically in the first week of my role, I interviewed these 2 founders to talk about, their experience, and I guess the lessons they've learned in selling a business that they helped grow together, right? And these guys were friends before this venture, and they were very open about kind of lessons and learnings, etc. But basically what it came down to is, they're like, listen, George, to be honest with you, we have so much self-awareness that we know we're operational founders. We are the kind of founders that technically can build this from concept stage, idea stage, to 50 employees. We don't believe that we're the most appropriate founders to build this to 100 employees or beyond. It's not even what we love to do. And so back to that passion, you kind of have to have that self-awareness, but also know where you fit in the puzzle. And that can get, I guess, complicated, but I think it was a really important lesson. So are you the right person? Is this the right opportunity? And once you have those 2, obviously with persistence, resilience, etc., you can make magic happen. So those are 3 quick key themes that I think resonated with me, but also the ones that I've really stuck with in terms of things that I've learned. I think it's important. It's important to remember. So, if you're an aspiring founder, always wishing you the best. If this was of value, share it out. If you want to let me know anything, connect, and stay safe, especially in these days of quarantine. It can get easy to lazy around and not too much, but hope you're productive, and we'll chat soon. If you like these videos too, let me know. Happy to do more. If you have any other questions, happy to record more of these kind of solo, I guess, vlogs or podcasts. I'm not sure. Anyways, till next time.